Welcome or welcome back to WatchAdvisor on YouTube, where watches and wonders is the stars. Normally the watches are the stars, but today we are going to show you watches and wonders. With me is Roger Ruiga, and all of you watching our videos should know meanwhile that Roger is part of our team. Roger.
Good morning, everyone.
Hello, my friends.
We're the two wonders.
We are the two,
We're the two wonders.
We are the two wonders, and the two wonders will guide you around in watches.
Yes.
Okay. Well, to better understand this huge video you're going to watch, we have been setting up timestamps for you. And these timestamps do help you to find each chapter, like on a map. Go in the description of the video, you will find the timestamp, click on it, and it will guide you, or it will bring you automatically to the section of that video. But I highly recommend you, of course, to watch the entire video. Take some time, open a nice bottle of wine, sit down and enjoy our huge tour here on Watches and Wonders 2026.
Don't forget to subscribe and to hit the bell to get our latest notifications.
So maybe what's really important for all of you to know is that we have been here for barely an hour, and we already had one first brand appointment. So we obviously haven't seen everything that's new. But one of the big news that we have seen is behind us. That's the floor plan, and there is one big change.
Yeah, a brand disappeared called Mont Blanc, no longer here. The place of Mont Blanc is now being taken over by Moser, by Edouard Meylan. And the big novelty is Audemars Piguet is back on the show.
Yes.
And look, guys, they are here. This is our press center. This is where we are working. And just beside of the press center, there's Audemars Piguet. And the rest, more or less, hasn't really changed. Still have the old part of Richemont, where now Moser has been taking over the place of Mont Blanc. You have Vacheron Constantin, Cartier, you have IWC, Jaeger-LeCoultre, Piaget, all the brands of Richemont. And of course, then, this is that legendary corridor we are actually standing. You go, and then you come to a place that remembers me very much of old Baselworld. You have Patek Philippe with the old stand of Baselworld. Of course, Rolex, Tudor, Chopard, they have the stands, still the stands that they used during Baselworld. Nothing has changed. The Carré de Horlogers, this is where the small watchmakers are concentrated. One part is here, there's another part too. And we will tour you around as much as we can. We will try to get into the booths, to the stands, and show you something. As Roger already said, we can't show you every single watch, but we try to do the best. And this is more a tour than a specific demonstration of watches.
And obviously, once we have figured out something that is a really highlight, we will be trying to get that in depth later after the show, just to have the best quality pictures of it possible. So this is an overview.
So let's do as we always do. We go in the direction of the old Baselworld area where we have Rolex, Patek, and we start there in the
town.
Old Town. Yeah, let's go. Old school style. Let's go there. On your screen is the stand booth of Hublot. If you have not watched our presentation of the novelties of Hublot, please go on our channel and check out our video that is online since today. They have been reloading the Big Bang.
The chronograph with a more visible movement. I think it's a good move for Hublot to focus on a smaller novelty release that helps to really put focus on the product that is most important for Hublot.
And what Hublot has not done so often is to emphasize that they are a watchmaker. Too much about sports stars, but they have not so much been talking about their watchmaking. And this year, I'm really surprised. They brought in some innovations in the chronograph movement. And yeah, watch our video.
As you'll notice, this is one of the booths that is more accessible. Some of the brands have decided to be quite close, so you barely get to see any watches from the outside. Hublot has chosen a very open layout, which is, I think, an interesting move for the public days on the weekend. So whoever is here can actually access the booth, which I think is an advantage. I'm always a bit shocked to see how close some of the booths are, and you barely get to see watches.
Hublot is really the master, meanwhile, of manufacturing watches in a sapphire crystal case. This is amazing what they're doing. You can discover on our channel the last years, if you go and search about Hublot, many more of those watches they have done. They have really brought it to a level where they can manufacture not only one as a sample to show on an exhibition like here, they're able to manufacture 50, 100 pieces and they sell them. So I think Hublot is the masters of sapphire crystal cases. Of course, others do it. First was Richard Mille, and I remember, and everybody when they saw the watch, it was here, said, oh my God, when it falls down, everything, you break hundreds of thousands of euros. But it never happened, by the way.
I think no matter how you like or dislike the brand, because it is a loud brand, it's a marketing-driven brand, but if you have the chance to see how these watches are being made, because they do have the substance. And they're also currently building a new manufacturer building in Lyon to increase their production. So that's going to be a big topic for Hublot in the coming months and years.
Yeah, looking forward. So, but we will feature this new building once it is done, and they're moving in June, July, and
You remember our upstairs now?
so let's go to Bulgari and see what they're doing.
Marina is here with us, and that's also just so they get used to. We're going to have a little bit of change in staff. I'm going to be having appointments. Alexander's going to be having appointments. So we're going to be having a little bit of on-the-fly changes. And Bulgari, for those that haven't seen the video, I think you have visited the brand before.
Yes.
And we already have a video of some of the novelties, the 37mm Octo.
37 Octo.
Good. And I have to be a little bit closer because I have the mic.
Test.
We are inside the booth of Bulgari, beautifully done, in the spirit of the brand, of course. And in case you are thinking, did I already see the novelties about Bulgari? Go on our website. We have presented you in a video the new 37mm Octo Finissimo, beautifully done. Just smaller, fits perfectly on the wrist. They came from 40 to 37, it's only 3 millimeters, but this makes the difference for many of you because it now really perfectly sits on the wrist, melts, hugs your wrist, and yep, check out our video. And the rest, enjoy our pictures that our cameraman Jorge is taking here because it's really beautiful. Smells good, they have some perfume here. Green tea of Bulgari is in the air, so it's really beautifully done. There's a bar over there. If you're into jewelry pieces, high jewelry pieces, this is really mind-blowing, stunning.
So here we have something special from the Bulgari novelties. It's new Aeterna. Serpenti Aeterna, I like this collection. We've heard also your feedback from last year that this is something new, something special, something fresh on the market. And I just wanted to give you an update that there is now a new version in gold and not full diamond pavé. So it will be more accessible to buy, wearable in a casual style. And there is another nice model which is set with the precious gemstones. I like it very much. This is of course something special. I mean, this is an eye catcher, just a piece of art. And to compare, this is the first model Bulgari launched under Serpenti Aeterna. So you have all three models that can compare.
Last year they still served Nespresso, guys, so I have nothing against Nespresso, but this is an Italian brand with all the love to detail and all the energy they bring into products. They finally changed it to some good Italian espresso. This is Illy. So we're enjoying an Illy coffee now, so they have upgraded not only the watches, also the coffee quality. Now we have some real Italian coffee. Never mind, guys, if you are into Nespresso. Excellent coffee if you like it. I don't. I prefer real Italian coffee. So I have a coffee and I'll be back on your screen very soon. You see is a little excursion to the Geneva car show. No, I'm kidding. But we are approaching the stand of Tag Heuer. And as you all know, they're sponsoring Formula One. Roger, what do you know about the new chronograph?
Well, honestly, I haven't really checked all my emails, but we have yet another fleet of chronographs within the Tag Heuer collection. They are, again, getting not less expensive. They're going
ramping up the prices.
They're ramping up the prices. Spectacularly looking. I saw the Monaco in two-tone, which looked really good. But obviously, yes, they're sticking to the Formula One and the racing and the car theme.
Petrol heads like I am watching this video, the sound of the Porsche 917 compared to the sound of the Oracle Red Bull Racing RB22 is just, yeah, I don't want to say the word. This old car was really emotional, cool, and the new stuff, for me, it's a bit boring.
And it's quite difficult to say what's more interesting, the car or the watches.
This is when you stand in front of a Porsche 917 and you know the history of the car and what it did and who drove this car, you know, I get goosebumps. Yeah. Welcome to the world of Tag Heuer. Very busy here. This is how it looks like when you are in the booth of Tag Heuer. Press presentation, bar, discussions, meetings, and of course the superstar is here.
Monaco in Geneva.
Maybe some of you saw Roger's post recently on Instagram where you asked Baselworld, is there anyone here?
Yes. Oh, yeah, that was a joke.
Yeah, no, of course.
I happened to be in Basel last week, and I couldn't resist doing a little video saying, "Where is everyone?"
Yeah,
here we are.
Here we are. We are at Baselworld. Or at least those who have been once to Baselworld or have seen pictures of Baselworld know that this is pretty much the remaining substance or the remaining pieces of Baselworld.
Hall 1.
Hall 1, yes.
Hall 1 minus Swatch Group.
Yeah, true. Yeah. Correct. Swatch Group is missing. They would be where Chanel is, but they aren't here. So we are, of course, seeing Rolex, we see Patek Philippe, we see Chopard, we see Tudor in the background. Guys, you are waiting for sure for the pictures of all the Rolex watches. We will film them, but not today, it's impossible. And we will take our time, we will deliver some of the very best pictures you find on the internet about the new watches of Rolex. We will take our time, but not today. So please be patient, come back as often as you can to our channel to discover them, but we will tour you around a little bit, show you the first things, and let you discover how it looks like if you are getting into the booth, etc. So follow us a little bit and yeah, enjoy the tour. I just had a coffee, I'm energized now, let's go.
And everyone else is already filming the watches, so we don't need to deliver the same crappy quality through the display window. I think the Chopard booth is white this year. I think it was blue last year, so they repainted. But Patek, Rolex, same booth than last year, which is okay because they're quite expensive to build.
Yes, this was, I think the price of this Patek booth was
5
million?
Yeah.
Yeah, something. 5 million, I wasn't sure, but 5 million, yeah.
Well, not something bad. Like that.
Yeah. Roger and me are standing in the former epicenter of the show. Here, there are two showcases. There was a curtain down. Everybody was queuing up. I don't know how you call that. They were
just running to the booth.
They were running.
Everyone wanted to be the first with a mobile phone to take the picture or video or whatever. And it looks much, much more peaceful these days.
Yeah. And you know why it is more peaceful, guys? Because at midnight tonight, Rolex already put all the watches online, so you were able to discover everything on the website. So no more need to rush, you could do it more slowly and easy. But years before, and if you don't believe me, just check one of our videos from the last years. We still had that crowd here standing everywhere pushing and everybody want to take the first pick. It was crazy.
Yep. That was the first award that you had to get at the show. If you were smart, you just walked past by and went somewhere else and did something else. We're the first with that one. But this is much different this year. And obviously this is the 100th anniversary of the Oyster case, which is celebrated quite extensively by Rolex.
Rolex novelties, we will show you amazing pictures. We will tape them, as I said, a little bit later. You will be able to discover some of the first pictures here now. So if you have an appointment at Rolex, you go to one of these reception desks, and then you say who you are, and then they will check if you have an appointment, and when they verified you, then they will let you in, and then one of the beautiful looking ladies will pick you up and bring you to offices, etc., presentation rooms.
You can't ask them about the waiting list here, so they don't have that.
Yeah, this is a good remark. So if you are keen to buy one of the new watches, they are not the ones to put you on a waiting list. Anyhow, guys, I've been repeating that so often on our channel. Don't play these silly games with authorized dealers when they say you have to buy this, you have to buy that before you get one of the watches. Don't do it. The watches are available. They produce 1.2 million watches per year. They have them. They just fool you. So don't play the games. Don't do it. Get your watch. Don't let them fool you.
Interestingly, this is a very new section of the Rolex booth, having access to the watches, and I was just reminded by the security guard that I was too close, so I had to move. But this is new. They did not have watches on display this way. So we have the new Daytona, we have the new dials, pretty much everything. But they are a little bit like in an art museum. They remind you quickly that you're getting too close to the watches. As one of the gentlemen is just doing right now with his mobile phone, so the security guard is already quite nervous.
Anyhow, these watches don't feature any movements, so they are just mock-ups. Original cases, but there are no movements in there. My favorite watch of the show, look, I love it, my hands. This is my favorite of the show. This is just cool. Only Rolex can do it. Every other brand who would do this would get a shitstorm online. They can do everything, and this will sell like hell. And it's a watch that will only be available for 1 year, as always, with these special dies they do. So if you are keen to get one, good luck. I don't know if you can read that. A World on the Move. It is the story about Rolex. So it's a brief, very brief history of Rolex. Of course, you can't showcase everything they have done over the years, but this is where then, of course, the oyster comes into the game, of course.
At the risk of sounding very nerdy, but this watch already made my visit to Watches and Wonders 2026 worthwhile. This is the Submarine, not the Submariner. This is a Submarine from 22. This watch was on display briefly in Vegas at the Wynn. I didn't know back then that it was on display, so when I went back to the Wynn in Vegas, it was already gone. So being able to see this watch, and I think you all know that Rolex does not have a museum, so this for me is already one of the big bucket list items that I can tick off.
Of course, the biggest enemy at the time in 1922, the biggest enemy of a watch was humidity and water. And Hans Wilsdorf thought about that, and he tried, of course, to get these watches waterproof, more waterproof. This is what you see on your screen, the first attempt of Rolex to get a watch waterproof, or at least more water resistant.
They were not the first ones, as you might occasionally read, but certainly the most prominent example.
And most successful one.
Yes.
End of the day, they are the most successful
Yes.
ones, because there's nothing above Rolex. This is really the top of the pyramid in terms of quality, in terms of innovation, in terms of quantity, everything. Chapeau, heads off. We have to say that. Yeah. Next thing you can discover with Roger and me are the new watches of Patek Philippe.
And interestingly, as you might know, some of the new releases we see weeks, months before they get shown here. Some we get press releases, and in this case, again, this is the first day of the show. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, so this has been going on for an hour. I have not seen anything. I have no idea what they're releasing. So in about 2 hours from now, I will know everything what they did. But right now, this is for me as new as it is for you. Obviously, this year is an anniversary of the annual calendar from Patek. This is one of the big anniversaries. Not just the 50th anniversary of the Nautilus, but it's also the anniversary of the annual calendar that was introduced in the 90s. So unsurprisingly, we're seeing new annual calendar models as well as new Cubituses.
First complication in the Cubitus, presented in front of this radio dating from the 1950s, I would say. The Cubitus on your screen is the first perpetual calendar in that case. You either like it or don't, but I think it is making its way. Thierry Stern once was right saying, okay, we'll take some time, and I see it is developing in a good way. I like it.
And obviously we also have the Ellipse, which is one of the models that has gained immensely in popularity in the last couple of years, and this is going to continue.
The Calatrava you see on the left side now, that's not looking like a minute repeater, but it is a minute repeater. So if you don't know what it is, and you're wearing this watch, really understated way of wearing a minute repeater.
And the 38 millimeter, it's quite compact.
The Celestial Sunrise and Sunset is one of the super complications they're presenting this year. We are discovering it in detail a little bit later this week. And the rest here is lots of chronographs. We have chronographs with perpetual calendar. They are now on colors, red, blue, gray. That's fantastic. They're really playing with the most iconic type of watches they have. This is the perpetual calendar chronograph, and they're looking gorgeous.
Full retro. I mean, everything that you see is as retro as it can be.
They look very much like the perpetual calendars in the past, but they just got a little bit bigger. 41 millimeter is a better size now, in my humble opinion. I don't know if you disagree.
Absolutely not, but the colors are unexpected.
Yeah, beautiful. Patek Philippe records. We don't know what they took. They didn't record them or they didn't produce them, they just took some records, but it would be cool to know what they were choosing.
Well, we're trying to steal one. We have the entire week. We might get one at the end of the show. Well, we literally have a drum roll, which is not related to this watch, but it's the official opening ceremony of the show. So you might be hearing some drum rolls, but obviously this, celebrating the 50th anniversary, is one of the headliners at the show.
So no more steel, white gold or platinum. 50 years of the Nautilus, probably most iconic watch of Gérard Jantin. He did more than Patek Philippe, as we know. He designed the IWC Ingénieur, the Universal Genève Pole Rotor, many more of them. But this is most likely the most iconic piece. You already are one of the lucky ones to have a Nautilus for your wrist. Now you can get a desk clock with 8-day power reserve. I thought it's a pocket watch. It's both. You can either wear it as a pocket watch or put it on the desk. So it's both.
Definitely one of the more unexpected releases. Since Alexander is not a fan of the Grenadier, here they are. This is official from the city of Geneva. That is the official opening ceremony of Watches and Wonders 2026.
Bye-bye, guys.
Traditionally, I start my Watches and Wonders with Tudor. So this morning at 9 o'clock, my first appointment and the first publicly available appointment you can have with a brand was here with Tudor. Short version is there are some upgrades to existing models, new variations, great watches. Not the big revolution, except maybe for the Monarch that we are going to be introducing a bit later. But after all, they know how to produce watches that are easy to sell. And boy, I am sold. That's the new ceramic version. It has a slightly gray dial. And for the first time at Tudor, it comes with a black ceramic bracelet. The other big news at Tudor is the Monarch that I briefly mentioned before. It comes with a faceted steel case. It's based on a vintage model. Gorgeous watch, but quite vintage. So interesting to see next to all those very performance-oriented pieces for diving, for exploring and other stuff. This is certainly a new chapter in the history of Tudor. Those of you who have been at a Tudor boutique are already familiar with that system. You can basically just see how the watch looks on your wrist, which I think is a great way to explore watches. As I mentioned in the intro, we're seeing slightly different dial variations, new bracelets, more master chronometer certifications with the watches. This is all a very solid lineup, including the GMT, obviously, which is going to be having a lot of fans. That might even help people get over the loss of the Pepsi. Let's see. And here we have the Black Bay 54 with a new blue dial. Stunning, there are different bracelets available. Again, this watch is basically selling itself. Chopard is one of the brands that we got to see before the show. So you are going to have an in-depth look at some of the novelties. As of today, there is already an article on the website at WatchAdvisor.com where you can see most of the novelties that they have launched. But I didn't have the pricing info, I didn't have all the diameters, so it's basic. So once we have all the info, especially the pricing info, we're going to do an in-depth video about the Chopard novelties. Obviously, the big news at Chopard is the 30th anniversary of the manufacture in Fleurier. This is 1996, where Chopard made the decision to invest in independence, in own movements, and that's where we're going to be seeing a lot of. There is a LUC 1860, which I immediately fell in love with a blue guilloche dial in the original size. Gorgeous piece. There's also a couple of new Alpine Eagles, one of the best-selling watches at Chopard. Very stunning proposition for people that are into integrated stainless steel sports watches. In this case, it's lucent steel. And there is a titanium strike one that we're also going to be introducing. And there's a special edition dedicated to the Dia de los Muertos with the LUC full strike in the middle.
With me, Frederica, she is the COO of Zenith. Hello, and it's a good coincidence that we just meet because we just come along and Frederica will tell us something about the Zenith novelties. Frederica, it's your turn now, please.
Yes. So this year we are presenting a skeletonized edition of our Chronomaster Sport, We have a sapphire dial, which is treated with a smoked effect on the dial, and it reveals the movement, which is in a skeletonized version. And we have two steel version, black ceramic on the bezel and green ceramic on the bezel.
Why did you choose green and black and not, for instance, blue and yellow?
Black one is really our icon.
Yeah.
Today we work around our one of our best seller, the Chronomaster Sport, with the plain dial, and so it was for us important to put enhance our best seller. And the green has been a huge success since last year when we presented this new version of the ceramic bezel, and so we wanted to play with the colors and to have another version of it in green.
Thank you.
We have a third edition,
Yeah.
which is the gold one. I wear it, but
Oh,
we can
you
also...
see, we are the lucky guys. We are really the lucky guys.
Gold edition on rubber here. We also find the same sapphire dial with the smoked effect, and of course in red gold.
This looks very, very beautiful on your wrist, I have to say. And yeah, they are showcasing their El Primero. That's what they should do. And I must say, this opening of the dial, smoked effect, as Frederica just described, is beautiful.
Yes, it's beautiful, and you see the heart beating at 5 hertz. So the high frequency we always put in front of our watches.
36,000 semi-oscillations, so the only watch that really displays the 1/10 of a second on the dial. But this is a story, guys, you all know very well, because if you are on our channel, you know that I have been presenting the El Primero quite often in all details.
I would like to show you another small thing which we are very proud of it.
Let's go.
So on this
We are
steel
filming
models,
for a big
please,
audience
please
worldwide, so come on.
Yes, for this steel version, we have a new clasp we present this year. Here we present the concept with all the spare parts. We have 41 spare parts of this very complex clasp. We are very proud of it. We call it Zen clasp. We have a new system of very fine regulating, over 10 millimeters of...
Micro length adjustment, something you guys always ask. You know the discussions we often have when I show you a video and then I show you one of these folding clasps, and then in a comment I read, hey, where's the micro length adjustment? They don't have a... Here it is. You have been doing a new... This is cool.
Yes. So this is the new system with only one movement. You open it all, because we have this special system that holds the clasp when it's closed, and with one only movement, it's just open. And when you are here, you can work on this central part and let the bracelet change the length. It is 5 positions of 2.5 millimeters.
So perfect.
So the first one is just opening, it opens.
Yeah.
So very useful. But when it's closed, you can open it here and adjust the length.
Yeah.
And without opening the clasp, you can change the length of the bracelet.
As you close.
So for instance, during summer, when it's hot, if you need to just have a few more millimeters, you can do it without any risk.
Our audience will love it, because this is what they ask for, and this is what we so often discuss in the comment sections. People say, why don't they, why don't have they? You have it. Very well done, Zenith.
Thank you
once
very
again.
much.
And on top, this is a beautiful execution of the El Primero, showcasing that beautiful chronograph movement, the iconic chronograph movement. I love it.
I am very happy to introduce you to our new GFG watch. Last year we introduced this watch for the 160th anniversary of the brand with a blue lapislazuli dial. This year we are proposing another stone, the jasp dial. You can see the details of the green stone with red dots. Every dial has been chosen one by one. We only produce 161 of this marvelous watch. Normally it's proposed on an alligator bracelet, but here we have the chance. We have the full gold version.
Not bad, I have to say.
Yes, the small second is always in mother of pearl. The rest of the dial is in stone. And of course, we have our marvelous 135 movement. It's a movement that last year was decorated with a brick decoration in order to recall the facade of our
Yes, for the
manufacturer.
anniversary, yes.
For the anniversary.
And
This
this-
year we have a very traditional decoration in Côte de Genève, ruthenium, finishing. Every part is with a handmade angle, more than 15 hours of work only for decoration on this movement.
And you can continue to do the limited
Yes.
editions next year, 162,
62,
63,
yes,
64.
I can tell you, yes.
You will?
Yes, we will.
Oh, you will, okay.
And-
May I guess the color of the dial?
No, but
Okay.
we look for the best stones.
I see.
So we are at the booth of Grand Seiko here at Watches and Wonders, and here's everything about one watch. Roger, you take
Thank
over.
you. The Ushio diver was the watch that was teasered in before of the show, and people were very excited to actually seeing this model. It is powered by a spring drive movement, the 9RB1, if I'm not mistaken. One of the specialties is there is an accuracy of plus minus 20 seconds a year, which is insanely accurate. The case is water resistant to 300 meters. It's made out of titanium, or as Grand Seiko calls it, high intensity titanium. Bezel is made out of ceramic. The dial is inspired by the tide, which is where the name comes from, the Ushio diver, which is Japanese for tide. And it's a structured dial as we have known to appreciate and learn from Grand Seiko in the past. Also, there is a folding clasp with micro adjustment and dive extension, which is also on display here. This is already one of my highlights of the show, and I know this is very early to say. I have not seen the entire show. I have not seen all the new watches, but I did get to see this one the days before of the show. This is a 36 or 35 millimeter re-edition of the Oris Star. Everyone who's been complaining about watches getting more and more expensive, this is retailing for 1,800 Swiss francs. It comes with a plexiglass crystal. It's a gorgeous re-edition of a historically quite important watch. Good morning, you're on video now.
That's fantastic.
And
Good to see you.
Good morning. Rolf Studer, CEO of Oris. Congratulations on
Thank you.
the new title, by the way.
Thank you.
And this is a stunning piece.
Thank you very much.
And actually, it was in Holstein when you had a meeting downstairs next to the boutique. Already got to shoot it. We don't have a video yet, but it's on the website. It's already introduced there. So one of my show highlights, because it shows great watches do not have to cost that much.
And there's 60 years of watch and Oris
Yes.
history in that piece.
And
so
that's on the
really
website.
fantastic.
I have that on the website. So that's all written up, historically important, but I think you've never had such a great dial quality as you have here. The hands and the dial is a level up. Not sure if it's the crystal that just does the thing, but that's one of my favorite watches of
If
the
you
show.
say that, that means something.
Yes, it
Thank you,
does.
Russell.
Thank you, Rolf. Have a great show.
You too. Thank you.
It's not only about watches here, it's also about a good life. And the champagne of the year 2026 on Watches and Wonders is Veuve Clicquot Brut. This is the champagne that is served this year. We had some Perrier Jouet the last years, I remember. I think there was some Röderer also. So this year is Veuve Clicquot being served. And you also get, of course, everything else, beer, wine, Coca-Cola, whatever you want. So they take care of you also. If you're hungry, you can eat here. You can enjoy yourself. There are lots of bars around. So it's really, you are in a whole bubble here. So you buy, you see, you discover, you drink, you eat, you have fun, you discuss. This is really Watches and Wonders. Same procedure as last year. We're standing in front of Chanel. They wouldn't let us in with all the equipment. Jorge is having a big camera in front of him. So it is about security because they are exposing real values in there. And it is simply stunning. And so they have to keep a very high security level. And I understand the decision that they don't let us in. We will just quickly film some of the showcases outside. But this is the booth of Chanel. And I can't show you more than this, sorry. Just behind the booth of Tudor is the Carré des Horlogers. This is a part of the exhibition where you can rent a smaller space. Of course, some of these guys who exhibit and present their new watches here can't afford the big booths. They are very expensive. You have to imagine these are really millions and millions you're spending to be there. But here are smaller sizes available, and we will quickly run you through and show you what they're doing. We can't picture and film all the watches. That's pretty impossible, but we will pick out some of them and show you them on screen. We are standing here in front of Laurent Ferrier. Some of you might have already discovered our video about the new sport traveler. We have an entire hands-on video. We show you every detail. And for me, it's an absolutely stunning, beautiful, understated, not in the sense of understatement. It's an understated traveling watch. Discover it on our channel, Laurent Ferrier. Part of the Carré des Horlogers. There we see a press presentation. You see that there are some colleagues sitting and attending one of the presentations they're doing, showing the new products. That's how it is organized here. At Ferdinand Berthoud, Jorge is taking some pictures, friends of ours. Of course, you know that if you are on our channel, you have seen videos where we have been filming with them. They are impressing us every time they are presenting something new. It's a brand that belongs to Chopard. Mr. Carl Friedrich Schäufele bought the brand and now really is showing the world with Ferdinand Berthoud what he is able to do, and this is simply stunningly beautiful. In terms of technical execution, it's hard to top Ferdinand Berthoud. This is nice to see, an animation of Ressence, the Type 11, where you can see how the work shows the time. Little satellites turn around on the dial. It's approaching noon. And now is noon. This is how Ressence is displaying the time. There is a power reserve indication, the hours, there are the minutes, and a small second, of course. And of course, what you see here is an animation. The watch runs much too quick. I would not wish that time passes so quickly. Nice to see.
This is where creativity within the watch industry gets really, really tangible. It's one of the smaller spaces within Watches and Wonders, which is reserved for the smaller independent brands. And this is where you quite often can see stunning novelties. So follow me. We'll head over to Armin Strom. They have a new minute repeater, which is one of the more dominating topics this year. And they have coupled that with the resonance topic.
So we're very proud to present the minute repeater Resonance. This is our second minute repeater. The first minute repeater we did was for the 10th anniversary of the manufacturing, limited to 10 pieces. Now we redesigned the whole minute repeater. So it got smaller in diameter, 42mm case. It's based on our resonance technology, so two movements which do synchronize each other. We have, instead of two hammers, we have four hammers. We have the Westminster chime. We have a flying governor visible on the dial side. But the coolest feature of the watch is the 12:59 anytime. So we have basically two chiming modes. One mode is the on time, where the minute repeater chimes the time which is indicated by the hands. And we have a mode where you can select by having 12:59, which is the maximum chime you get out of the minute repeater.
Because the movement is quite fast and so we need an Ataro, but it's too heavy, so we have to make it.
No, the skeleton aspect is completely orthogonal. I don't know. I think we'd almost be able to say something because the point is to see what we pay for it, which is exactly one of the strengths of our brand, is that there's a lot to show.
That's the man behind the watch. If you get the opportunity to see a piece like that and talk to the person who actually made the watch, I mean, this is horological heaven.
We are here at the booth of Baume Mercier, and this is a brand that has been sold by Richemont.
It's a management buyout. It's not being sold.
Yeah.
It's someone really wanted to have it, and then they decided to let it go.
Yeah. So Richemont, no more the owner of Baume Mercier, is Damiani now.
Yes.
A jeweler in Italy. We shall see in the future what they are going to do with the brand, if they're going to stay here or not. These are things we don't know. What is new, there is a Riviera now shown here with a quartz movement.
Yes.
There is also a Clifton shown with a perpetual calendar. So the possibilities to position the brands are from quartz to perpetual calendar. We shall see.
Interestingly, I mean, because this is a transition phase that we're in, Obviously, these are all collection extensions.
Yeah.
But there is a new collection called Joya, which is targeted at women's. It's jewelry watches. So we don't know if that's already influenced by the new owners or still continuing with, as you might all know, it takes quite some time to build up new collections, new product. So that's yet to be seen if this is an indication of where the brand is heading.
And a very wide price range, as I said, from quartz to perpetual calendar. We shall see.
Yes.
On your screen, you see the master control chronometer date. The watch is ultra thin and a fully integrated watch with a bracelet. As something that was missing at Jaeger-LeCoultre, I have to say, this type of watch was not in their collection, and it is seamlessly fitting into the world of these luxury sports watches. They do all have a chronometer certification, but are better regulated by Jaeger-LeCoultre to really perform perfectly. And they're also tested on the wrist. They have developed a special test procedure to test them on the wrist. It was already in 1973, guys, when Jaeger-LeCoultre or Jaeger-LeCoultre presented the Master Mariner chronometer, and the watches you just saw on your screens are based on this beautiful watch that was already featuring a fully integrated bracelet and was, I would say, ahead of time. Also, a new watch presented this year by Jaeger-LeCoultre is the Master Grand Tradition Tourbillon Jumping Date. And what does jumping date mean? Of course, it would be quite inappropriate to have a date hand that is located over the tourbillon. So what happens when the date reaches the 15th, it will jump to the 16th, so the view on the tourbillon will always be free, no hand in between your eyes and the tourbillon, and this is a speciality. So the date moves from the 1st to the 15th, then it jumps to the 16th and continues to show the date until the 31st. Master Hybris Mechanica Ultra Thin Minute Repeater and Tourbillon. It's a new watch, and all those who know Jérôme Lambert, so it is clear that if he is the CEO, the brand will deliver one beautiful watch after the other. And it's a firework again after a couple of years of, I would say not so many really interesting watches coming from this maison from Jaeger-LeCoultre. And there's a presentation going on behind us. So let me quickly turn around. I don't know what's happening. It's noisy. There's a film over there showing the Vallée. They are talking about the Vallée de Joux. Oh, the frozen sea on the Vallée de Joux. Very nice. Is this Monsieur LeCoultre, apparently, looking there and saying, I will found a company there. The history of LeCoultre. And we will film the novelties in all details after Watches and Wonders. I have already an appointment in the Vallée de Joux, and we will bring you the entire video then later on this channel on WatchAdvisor. First of all, the CEO giving us an interview talking about what he's doing and what he is planning to do. And of course, we will then have the chance to film those watches in all details in the quality as you expect them coming from WatchAdvisor. So it is always a good idea to come back quite often on our channel. Last year, you remember the booth of IWC Schaffhausen was all about Formula One and the film. This year, it's all about space exploration. They are presenting a space watch. We have not filmed it yet. We will do this later this year. But on our channel, of course, to discover the Ingenieur, the new perpetual calendar that you can set forward and backward in the big pilot's watch is online on our channel. And if you want to discover the Glow Monster, I just say Glow Monster, then go on our channel and find that video and you will be thrilled. It looks just marvelous. This is Le Petit Prince, and you know that IWC Schaffhausen is for many, many years now doing watches with Le Petit Prince. Mostly they were the blue dials. Now Le Petit Prince is shown on the backside on the winding rotor. There is a medallion replacing the Probus Scafusia medallion with Le Petit Prince. And this is always special editions they do with that story. So this once again is a open stand, an open construction, very accessible for everyone. You come in, you enjoy You can see the watches on display, so it's as it should be, in my humble opinion. This is why you are exhibiting at Watches and Wonders. I really love this open way of presenting. Look at the smiles. They all smile, they're happy, they discuss. You see this, have you seen that? Oh, this is a cool one. This is how Watches and Wonders should be, of course. You see us, Jorge, with the cool equipment. This is me. Hi, guys. I love it. Still IWC, and they really know how to showcase. Of course, we have to say the CEO, Chris Granger, is an architect by profession, so he really knows what he does.
I would like to show you something special, and this is Van Cleef & Arpels booth. I like this brand very much, probably you know it already. They bring every year something really special. This year it's astronomy, because Van Cleef & Arpels launched new astronomical watches, and I would like to invite you to have a look at the booth together with me. At Van Cleef & Arpels, storytelling is everywhere, in every smallest detail. Look how beautifully they present the new watches, also combined with jewelry. Like, for example, this is a very expensive stone setting called Mystery Setting, together with the Heuer Floral complication from Van Cleef & Arpels. This is one of the most complicated creations of the Maison. What I especially like at Van Cleef & Arpels, they organize every year a part of exhibition with patrimonial pieces, not only timepieces but also jewelry pieces. And from my point of view, this is an exceptional collection of masterpieces of the Maison. For example, this rare Ludo secret watch. Those pieces are very rare, not so often seen publicly, so every time I'm here, I'm going into this part of the exhibition just to see the evolution of the Maison, the craftsmanship and the inspiration.
So we're both reunited again. You have been, where have you been?
I had quick lunch with someone from an award show.
Okay.
So you see, we have appointments, and while we're doing appointments with brands, I was with Parmigiani. Yeah, that was another
I
one.
took over. Now we are reunited in front of Hermès.
Yes.
And we will talk about Hermès. This is the booth of Hermès. Always wow, huh? And this is a
weaving machine.
Weaving.
Obviously showing how they handle cloth, and that is also linked to one of the watches that we have. But the big novelty this year is the H08.
H08 skeletonized, and the H08 chronograph finally will come to the markets, and this is a surprise. If you have been watching our videos in the last years about MS, you know that we have already been presenting you that chronograph, but it took them some time to bring it to the market. Better to wait if you are not sure. Now it is in the showcase, and I'm sure they know what they do.
Absolutely.
So let's have a look.
They look stunning.
And this machine is simply stunning. You start to dream again.
Traditionally, Hermès has always had one of the more interesting booths. It's reduced, it's quintessential, and this is just, it's great. Removing all the forehead traces of people staring at the watches.
It has an anti-refractive treatment, the glass, so everybody thinks he can touch the watch, but you can't. I did it by coincidence myself. So kind, thank you very much. So this is the Hermès H08 skeletonized open dial, emphasizing and showing the movement in a much better way. With the yellow strap, the yellow central second hand, you see the Hermès H08 chronograph with the Hermès in-house self-winding movement H1837. And this is a really, really cool watch because there are no push keys for start-stop and reset. You all manipulate it through the crown. The picture you see here is Andy Warhol, and we are at the booth of Piaget in a moment. They showcase a watch that Andy Warhol effectively wore in the past, and now they are offering new watches that are linked to Andy Warhol.
So you see here a watch, and in a mirror you can see there's an engraving on the back.
It's by far my favorite piece from Piaget, and no one does stone dial better than Piaget, and no other watch is better with a stone dial than the Andy Warhol from Piaget.
Interesting to see this year. Lots of stones appear on dials. Seems to be the big trend.
Yes, it's gender fluidity. And I mean, you can tell from maybe the environmental noise that we have here, the booth is extremely busy. Piaget is doing well, also because of the reintroduction of the Polo 79, which is again bringing a bit of 70s, 80s flair back to the industry. What we see here is one with a stone dial, but also a massive gold version. And I've been told that the gold version weighs or has 200 grams of gold.
Depending on how many links there are in. Massively done and beautifully looking. Guys, do you remember the watch? Do you have any personal stories to share with us? Do it in the comment section. It's always interesting to see because this was quite cool in the past, I remember.
That watch screams 80s and retro is as hot as it can be. And it's interesting because with the Polo that was relaunched recently, they cover a more contemporary approach while the Polo 79 clearly is giving a lot of vintage vibes.
Besides of stone dials, skeletonizing this year is something I've seen very often and more seems to be another trend to skeletonize dials. There's also a ceramic version on this bit. So they're really playing around with the new Piaget Polo, but you saw the old one and I have to say the old one is so cool.
This is pretty much the entire Polo collection from Piaget. Certainly a sight to behold.
It's really impressive. Go on the right then, you have the Altiplano collection, 60 collection, Limelight Gala. That's, I wouldn't dare to say everything they have, but at least...
but especially also the Limelight, I think that's one of the most beautiful women's watches that there is currently on the market.
Limelight is beautiful, yeah. And here I am, again, I am in the pool now taking a nice swim. You see me swimming. And I ask you, Carré, come in and let us discover some of the novelties of Panerai this year. Bloop, 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 bloop. So everything in here is about testing water tightness, showcasing what efforts the brand has done over the years to develop these watches and where they come from. So it's a part history and part is presenting new watches. You see some historical instruments to test water tightness and of course the way how they do it today.
Here we have a vintage device to test water resistance. Again, looking back at the history of Panerai, we all know that they were pioneering when it comes to water resistant watches or by choosing watches that were water resistant in the 30s. Always great to see Panerai bring some of their old stuff from the museum. That makes their history a little bit more alive.
And just if you turn right, Jorgen, you will film the Roxer. That's the actual way how to test water resistance. The watches are put in there, it is closed, and then you're increasing the pressure on the watch and you're testing them. And what is always done when the watch comes out, it is being heated a little bit. A drop of water is put on the outside of the sapphire crystal, and if there is humidity in there, if something happened, you would immediately see it because there would be fog. Oh my goodness, we are trapped! Help!
Panerai, innovation from the depths.
Two new watches, the Radio Mia Viaggio nel Tempo Experience Edition set. These are two new watches from Panerai presented here in that little pool.
So what we're seeing here is a showcase of the different metals that they're using, like titanium on the left or titanium ceramtech, forged titanium, which is new, that we have to look into. And then we have, according to Panerai, the first case that is made over 95% out of hafnium.
It's good. It looks like a gunmetal steel a little bit, this surface. Oh, it's a Navy SEAL edition. Experience edition. It's the PAM 1089 47 millimeter watch, waterproof up to 100 meters, and has a 3 days power reserve. And there you go, the picture with the CEO Emmanuel Perrin and the WatchAdvisor team here live at Watches and Wonders. That's so cool, I love it. And you see, these are pictures only WatchAdvisor can bring to your screens, because I think no one else is doing this. Roger is laughing.
Yep, that's the show. As we've told you yesterday, because you will not be able to tell what's yesterday and what's today, except for me not wearing a tie and maybe we're all looking a bit more tired, we're learning more information while the show is happening. So behind us, the tank, that actually is a replication of a dive tank that is in La Spezia, Italy, which has been built by Panerai for the Italian marine divers to actually train. So that's why this tank is here.
On your screen, the incredible world of Cartier. They have by far the biggest booth here at Watches and Wonders. It's like a town in the town. We're standing in front of a nice showcase where Cartier shows, first of all, here on the right side, the original piece dating back from 1919 Tortue wristwatch. And on the left side, a novelty, you see the Tortue monopicture chronograph, large model. So this is how they are developing. And sizes have changed, you see that clearly. Sizes have changed, watches got bigger, but still Cartier remains in a very decent, small and thin size. They have never overdone it, so they always are very elegant watches that will never change, I think. Next one is also a beautiful watch.
Collector's Dream, the Crash.
Dating back from 1967. From the Cartier collection. The new interpretation, the Crash Skeleton. Crazy. This is amazing. First of all, the shape of that movement already is crazy, and then you skeletonize it. This is double craziness. And the Tank Normal, it's written here, Tank Normal, and the Tank wristwatch Cartier Paris dating from 1920. So the watch you see on your screen was originally shown in 1920. 1920, imagine. More than 100 years ago. And on the right side, as a novelty, very nice with red Roman numerals on the dial, the Tank Normal Platinum. And this is a very cool execution of that watch. This is one of the novelties, the Roadster, a large model in steel with an automatic movement. And look at this design part from the crown over the bezel to the magnifying glass that looks like if it would have been one piece. It's beautifully executed. I love it. And of course, Cartier will not present such a beautiful watch without having it in full gold or gold and steel. All these models are the new Roadster. So now, guys, I'm going to bring you into the stand or booth of Ulysse Nardin, and this is really something cool. They are celebrating 25 years of Frick, and you all know, of course, you're watch aficionados, watch freaks, I hope so. Who is the guy being showcased here? It is Professor Ludwig Oechslin, the guy who invented the Frick. He's a genius, and he not only invented the Frick, he was also already 30 years ago introducing the first perpetual calendar that could be moved forward and backward, relying only on wheels. He was much ahead of time. He did this together with the former owner, Rolf Schneider, who unfortunately passed away much too early. Rolf, if you can hear me, salute.
This is insane.
Let's approach Mr. Oechslin. Come on.
This is
Come on, guys.
scary.
Come on. Ta-da. And look, now he is looking at us. Do you behave, guys, or are you just fooling around? Two things that are pretty impressive. First of all, Audemars Piguet came back to Watches and Wonders after they left. And the second thing is, we are on the first floor here. The press center where we work is just a few meters away from the booth of Audemars Piguet. And all the brands are downstairs and everything happens downstairs. And when I was looking at the map the first time, I was wondering that they accepted to be here. And when you look around, there is not a single watch on display. It's just the entry here, and you get a bit the impression that nothing happens. But We are inside and I'm gonna tour you around. The purpose why they're here, I will show you now in the camera here on the booth of Audemars Piguet, coming back to Watches and Wonders in 2026. So this is more or less the lobby, the relaxing area where you can have some drinks. They are serving a different champagne also. Here's Bilka Salmon. It's very nice to see that. The story begins in a room where everything started with the families Audemars and Piguet. The Valet de Joux welcomed Audemars Piguet workshops in 1875. This is a map from the Valet de Joux. We have been there quite often. You know the area. This is the Lake de Joux. And this is a map that dates back from 1886, showing you the area. And this is where everything started. So this room here gives you an impression of where the brand comes from, the families comes from, how they gathered together, how they started the business, and how they then created the first ideas. In some of the next rooms, you will discover historical models compared to modern watches. It's a really guided tour you can discover here to understand where they come from, where they went through, and where they are going in the future. When you're outside and you just see that little entrance, you don't get the impression that it is so impressive when you are inside. This is a picture of the founders of Audemars Piguet. Audemars Piguet is one of the oldest manufacturers and it is still owned by the founding families. Over the years, it has been joined by two other watchmaking families from the Valet de Joux, LeCoultre and Golay. And you see those here. You see in that picture Yasmine Audemars here. You see Piguet. And then here is the last LeCoultre. And this is Bottinelli, who is from the Golay family. So these are the actual owners of the company. And as I said before, it's one of the oldest family businesses around here in Switzerland in watchmaking. This is the founder Audemars. And on top, you have founder Piguet. This is something you can also find on the AP website. So it is called AP Chronicles. So if you go on their website, you can do the same here. You can just scroll through the history. And if you are interested in some details, you just go in it. It will open up and then you can discover the whole story. AP Chronicles, and it's based on their website. So it's nothing that is specially done for Watches and Wonders. It's the existing information, a history of the brand. So you can just scroll through and find details if you want to deep dive. This room has been set up to explain a little bit watchmaking if you are not into it. So you can, for instance, learn how a classical Swiss Libre escapement works. And first series of watches of what Audemars Piguet has done over the years, including some of the calibers. That goes back to 1630, they weren't founded yet. But this is just to show where everything started. Watchmaking, displaying time, how the evolution went from first watches done to pocket watches, then wristwatches, and the whole thing ends in the latest version of its perpetual calendar that you see here, that is now fully adjustable through the crown. So you need no more push pieces, you just pull out the crown and the calendar is fully settable through the crown. This showcases a little bit the beauty of mechanics. It's not only showing time. Very quickly, watchmakers, of course, went a step further and decided to show the beauty of how time is shown, showing the background. And what you see here are different models, including the first self-winding tourbillon. You see how you showcase not only the time, but also the mechanics and what you can do when you are showcasing time. This will be quite surprising for you. You're moving out of an area in brown and you're going to the vault. Of course, at night they're closing the doors, pushing, and the other side, and there's so much to discover here. We can't show you everything, so I decided to show you the Royal Oak that started in 1972. And look, we were talking about Royal Oak. Is it a bold watch? But look at this watch from the 1960s. it was bold too. They dared very early, and they always tried to bring new designs, new inventions to the wrist, because it was not only about showing the time, but also celebrating it. And when they decided to do the Royal Oak, mostly gold watches were sold, and it was quite of a scandal that they dared to present a steel watch for the price of a gold watch. Today is an icon, but when they started doing this, people told them, hey, are you crazy? The Royal Oak offshore, when they started with the offshore, it was a kind of a second shock that went through the industry, because how could they do such a big watch? How can you dare such a size, such a thickness? It's too bold, you can't do it. It became an icon. The entire industry adopted quickly. Today, these are just icons on the wrist. Over the years, the watches, of course, not only showed the time, but were decorated with lots of gemstones. And this is a little bit the evolution of time. In the very early days, it was mastering it, make time readable. And then, of course, once it was readable, very quickly they increased the beauty of the watch. And these are objects that are, of course, dreams on wrists. And I want to show you the Tiger Eye, dating back from 1972 here in this showcase. And this is also stunningly beautiful, has nothing to do with Royal Oak, has nothing to do what a majority of people would put together with the name Audemars Piguet. And from 1972, the same year when the Royal Oak was presented. And just follow me to show you the next part of this exhibition, and then you know why I showed you this watch. And what we are going to discover now is Audemars Piguet today is research and development and the so-called the Atelier des Établisseurs. And with this Atelier des Établisseurs, Audemars Piguet tries to keep alive old craftsmanship that could die if no one asks these people to do things they learned from their grandfather, grand-grandfather, etc. This Feuerwerk, this holy fire giving from one generation to the next, is kept alive. And this is very important today, because lots of these craftsmanships die if no one uses them. Come on, and I'll show you. Okay. So research and development. On the right side, we see some of the extreme watches where they also just produced a few of them, even single pieces. And on the left side, it is all about these Atelier des Établisseurs, where they put and bring together old techniques, things that were almost forgotten, to be kept alive. You remember I showed you the Tiger Eye dating back from 1972? And now look. This is a creation that comes on the market. Don't say anything about if you like it or don't. Tastes are different. But everything they're doing here is to keep alive old craftsmanship. You have to find people who are able to cut these stones, to bring everything together, to build the chain, to create the movement, create the case, etc., etc. And by asking people to do this, Audemars Piguet helps that people who are able to do that don't stop doing it. And this is so fantastic. And they have been listing up all the names of those who they support and who they work with in the Vallée de Joux and other places. They don't do all this in-house, of course. They don't have all these specialists in-house, but they work together with them. Take this creation also. It's a peacock. When it is closed, it looks different. And when you open up, you have a watch underneath. Giulio Papi did the watch. Famous watchmaker, showing what they are capable to do these days and to be creative. And lots of handcraft are kept alive by doing this. Look, guys, this is how it looks like when it is closed. So you have this on your wrist, and then you open up, and the peacock comes alive, and you can read the time. What you see now are R&D watches. This showcase shows you how they push the limits or pushed the limits over the years. These are the RD series from 2015 to 2025. And if we just go on the Royal Oak Concept Super Sonnerie RD1 from 2016. I remember they were still exhibiting here at Watches and Wonders when they presented this watch. This was a minute repeater, incredibly loud and incredibly beautiful sounding. The same here, trying new materials, ceramics, different golds, bulk metallic glass with that red dial. It's a bulk metallic glass, it's a metallic alloy. You have sand gold, you have a polychrome gold, look, polychrome gold. Then polychrome ceramics, colored carbon, and full ceramic watch. I remember when they started with these watches, the Audemars Piguet crowd really got crazy. This is what is so fantastic in this industry. It comes with a large history. The history was, in the beginning, of course, tell me the time, give me an instrument I could first, of course, wear. Then it came to the wrist that showed me time. And once that was done, the next step was to make it more accurate, to make it more waterproof, dustproof, and then, of course, make it beautiful. Play around with design, play around with forms, play around with materials, and end of the day, of course, pushing the limits, and this is what they're doing here, and keeping historical means of how to manufacture different technologies alive and giving those people who still are able to do it a job that they don't stop doing it. And I have to say, bravo, chapeau to Audemars Piguet that they're doing it. We're almost done. This is the end of the show, but we come back to where we started. This is here we can go in once again, and I can make you a nice picture once again. I can sit here. Take a rest. This is one of the novelties at Vacheron Constantin this year, the overseas dual-time cardinal points. There are several of them in different colors. You get a watch, including 3 different possibilities to wear it. You have 2 rubber straps you can exchange. There's a very easy exchange system underneath the end of the watch. You just press in, you open, and you clip in again. And of course, the steel bracelet comes with it. And Roger, I think this is the way how a watch should be sold. So you choose as a client how the watch looks like.
Depending on the quick change system, yes, but there are still some systems on the market that are quite difficult to handle. This, however, is very easy to handle.
It's super.
This, by the way, being called the Cardinal Points Dual Time. There are 4 versions according to the Cardinals point. So this is East. Then obviously you have North, South, and West. 4 different dial colors: green, gray, white, blue, and we're going to be showing all of them.
So this is South at noon. But also here, you decide how the watch looks like. And I think, Roger, if I'm not wrong, they were the first doing it with this type of a sports watch with the interchangeable bracelets and straps. I think they were the first ones on the overseas.
Might be, I'm not that sure.
But they were among the very first.
Yeah, that definitely. Plus, this is the titanium version, so it's ultra light. And for Vacheron Constantin, this is definitely the sportiest watch that they have.
But I think they were among the very first with the overseas to really offer the possibility. It was almost leather and a metal bracelet, and now of course it's caoutchouc or any other materials because they are very trendy. So now we have come to the west. It's green, the orange strap, and the beautifully done bracelet with the Maltese crows on the folding clasp.
And I'm just realizing that the green down version is the one I like most. Green is always very difficult. It tends to be very tactile or too flashy, but this matte finish really looks good.
And now we're going north. And what color is missing in the north? You think black? No, it's the contrary. It's white. So these are the 4 versions of the new overseas dual time cardinal points, second zone time indicating travel watch.
The white being very technical. Compared to the other 3, this looks very, very technical.
So, and if the classic overseas is too thick for you, they are presenting the first time the overseas self-winding ultra thin, a really very thin platinum watch with a salmon tone dial. The newly developed movement from Vacheron has a thickness of only 2.5 millimeters and still features a power reserve of 80 hours. So they really know how to manufacture the movements, and of course with the appropriate power reserve of 80 hours.
And even better, it has a micro rotor movement.
The first one, by the way, they have never done one before.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah. So it's the first micro rotor movement they have with a platinum rotor, ultra thin movement, 2.4 millimeters. Yes, they know how to do it.
Powers are really impressive. Plus, I mean, again, salmon dials are just not going to go out of fashion. They're as hot as they can be.
Also here, it comes with an alligator and a rubber strap on top. They are not showcasing it, but you may, as you have seen it with the new overseas dual time watch, you can also change bracelet, alligator and rubber strap with that easy exchange, I don't know how they called it, with that quick exchange system of Vacheron. So the next one is his watch, because he was living in the States for quite a while, working with the Ebner Group there. So Roger, please tell us about the...
Actually, it has nothing to do with the name of being American.
I know,
but this is probably the one watch that I would like to wear from Vacheron.
Yeah, it is.
Regardless of the American name or not, this is the ultimate driver's watch. I'm not that much into driver's watches, but this, with the crown rotated by 45 degrees, with a new dial execution with a silver, blue, with grain. It's a gorgeous piece, and it looks good no matter what you wear.
So, you remember the song, Pump, Pump, Pump It Up. Here's the watch coming from H. Moser. No, I'm kidding, guys. We are at H. Moser, and this is a fantastic story, isn't it? Because they have been reusing
the pump system.
The pump system of Nike.
No, Reebok.
Reebok, oh, yes. Sorry, Reebok.
So, instead of winding the watch, you can pump the power reserve and the manual winding movement by pushing the orange button at 8 o'clock. The watch is a 40 millimeter execution of the streamliner in black or white, and the pump is actually also in the name. Also, what's new with Moser this year, they're for the first time, it's the big boys.
Yes.
They went from the Carré to the big exhibition space.
Yeah, they have taken the place of Mont Blanc, where we stand now. Last year, still Mont Blanc was showing the novelties.
Interesting. I mean, this is typically Moser. They know how to make a noise, and that's going to help them make even more noise. This is an extremely fast-growing brand, and they are doing something right.
I said it before and many times here on the show, skeletonizing movements is really a big trend, and yeah, you see here the Endeavour tourbillon skeleton that really showcases the entire movement, and so it's a big aquarium on your wrist. It's, I always say, big cinema on the wrist when you wear such a watch, because you probably discover details every day, day by day, and you never get tired of watching your watch doing its job, showing you the time. And we have to add one thing. It's not always beautiful to skeletonize a movement. Sometimes I'd rather recommend the brands not to do it, but in this case, it's almost, if you don't do it, you miss something.
The Streamliner being perhaps the most commercial model from each Moser, and this is now available in two smaller versions, in 28 and 34 millimeter. And the bracelet, of course, is still perhaps one of the nicest integrated steel bracelets in the entire industry.
Yeah, it remembers me a lot of the Ebel bracelet that was not.
Yep, but this once holding in your hand, incredible.
Yeah.
And obviously the dial quality here is also outstanding. Last year we had the stone dials. This year we have a more structured approach.
He's always ahead of time, and I guarantee you guys what you see here will be copied very soon by whom, I don't know, but I promise you they will. Guess where we are again? Yeah, this is the booth of Lange Söhne, and you can already see, comparing the size of the watch to the two persons standing in front of it, how big it is. And as always, Lange shows the masterpiece they are manufacturing or producing. And this is the Lange 1 Tourbillon Perpetual Calendar Lumen. We will, by the way, have an interview with Wilhelm Schmidt, the CEO, tomorrow. And we will get all Lange watches to be filmed after the show, and I'm very happy so I can do a really good review about every detail of the watch and show you everything you want to see. Be sure not to miss this video that will come online later this year. And what I love very much is that they put the tourbillon on the backside and they hide it. My personal taste is not to have a tourbillon on the front side, because I don't need to show off anything. I just like it as it is done here. Hidden behind, only the connoisseur will know. And this is how it should be.
At some point, I want to be in a big hall where all those large watches that they had during the last couple of years are lined up. I mean, this is always, every year, it's just see everyone standing next to that watch and getting a shot with it. This is a great way to display a novelty.
So this is the actual size of the watch you just saw before. Only 50 watches are manufactured. This will be difficult to get one. The price is quite high. It's €500,000. Good luck to get one. This behind me is the place where Jorge and I get our wonderful Radeberger beer always after the show. So we come here and enjoy a wonderful German beer. I do have to make more advertising for Radeberger because it's so good when you drink it after one day of talking. And so we come back later here. Bye.
I already had my presentation with Parmigiani Fleurier yesterday. One of the big highlights they have this year is the Tanda PF chronograph Mystérieux, which is the first chronograph that doesn't use subdials, but instead has, as we've seen with the Rattrapant before, the chronograph indications are below the standard time indication hands. So you're activating the chronograph by pushing the button at 8 o'clock, both for activating, stopping, and resetting the chronograph. It is certainly a very new take on the chronograph theme because this is as discreet as you can do a chronograph. This watch is available in the execution that you're seeing here, but there's also a platinum series with, I think, 30 pieces, but it could be less, with a silver dial.
Yes, and at Roger Dubuis, the theme of the year is the moving sky celestial themes. You have the Excalibur by Retrograde Perpetual calendar. And as you can see, they are getting a little bit quieter at Roger Dubuis. We remember the last years to see quite bold and also in terms of design, quite extraordinary watches. They become more classic. And this is a by Retrograde Perpetual calendar, 60 hours of power reserve, and it's a limited edition of 188 pieces. 40 millimeter is the diameter here, and of course everything is done in-house on highest level, as we all know that from Roger Dubuis. But the watch has become a little bit calmer, I would say. If you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. By retrograde means that there are two indications. The hand will, when reaching the end of the scale, jump back to its beginning. And this is the day indication and the date. They are both by retrograde. You have a classical indication of the months at 12 o'clock and of course the moon phase at 6 o'clock. If you think after watching all the video until now, that's the end, it's not. There is still more to discover, and I'm not joking. We are in the upper floor. In the background you see Audemars Piguet. We have been in there already, but there is still an area called Le Mezzanine, and there are smaller brands exhibiting here. A bit the same concept as the Carré des Horlogers downstairs. It is offering brands that don't need so much space or can't spend so much money. They offer smaller spaces, and Roger will now quickly show you the new watches or some of the new watches of Nomos, and then I will walk you quickly through the booth of Alpina and Frédéric Constant. But we can't. Once again, it is impossible. If you were waiting for it, it's impossible that we are showing you every single watch. That's not possible. We just try to give you a beautiful overview here. Follow Roger first for Nomos, and then we will quickly look into the booth of Alpina and Frédéric Constant.
So this is the best case scenario. As you know, this is watches and wonders. So I have the watches and I am wondering, I'm experiencing a wonder because as we have quite a lot of people at the Nomos booth, I brought the booze to the camera. I'm holding two of the watches. Yesterday I thought that the new World Timer dial execution were a bit of the big news here, but today I just learned that they added gold to pretty much the entire main collection. But they not only added gold options to the collection, they also came with a twice unique collection, which consists of two pièces uniques. This is almost like métier d'art. They have been working with artists. These two watches exist only once. They're sold together, so you can't get just the steel or the gold version. So you have to buy both. I think the prices start at around 16,000, which means that even though Nomos is now using gold, they're still trying to be as accessible as possible. So once again, Nomos managed to surprise everyone, and I think this is what the German brand has been known for in the last couple of years, and they have done so again.
So we are now in the booth of Alpina, and you have seen these watches that are now in front of you, the start time already, because we were able to film them ahead of time. In case you haven't watched our video, please go and check it out. And of course, there were incredible positive comments about what they're doing. These watches you see now on screen are sold for 1,295 euros. Yeah, this is the correct price, and this is incredible what you get. This is, oh, here's Niels. Hey. This is a coincidence. I was just telling my audience that there are lots of comments, positive comments about your Alpina watches.
I know, I've seen it.
You've seen it?
I've seen
Great.
it. I've only answered already, but I'm just for everybody to know, because I'm in the middle of the show, I have dinner, so in the midnight I'm trying to answer. I've answered already a few, but I will continue, but it takes me a little bit more time.
Thank you very much. Once again, we tour through your booth and then we're done. Thank you.
Enjoy.
You have to have a theme every year somewhere. And this is an old video game. I am not a video gamer, so I don't know. It's about an aeroplane that flies around and you have to shoot things down. Maybe some of you remember that game. If you are keen to do that, you don't need to insert any coins here. You just press the button and it will go. And there is the most important button seems to be fire, fire, fire. I have no idea about what this game is, but I think you know that. So now let me guide you through the booth quickly. Now it's a funny thing. They link both of the booths. Here Alpina, and then just when we turn around, we arrive at the booth of Frédéric Constant, so they are linked. Guys, look how busy it is here. And this is the proof. This is really the proof that they are doing everything right. They have good offers, value for the money. If on some places here at the show it is very cold, here it's very warm. My goodness, I wouldn't want to work here inside. Wow. And I think it's easy to see the difference in between the young and dynamic brand Alpina and I would say more conservative or more. Frédéric Constant is not Alpina and Alpina is not Frédéric Constant. They have a more conservative way of presenting themselves in difference to Alpina. But this is how it is and they're connected through a little corridor. I like it. And you see some XXXXL watchmaking tools are exposed here. So guys, thank you very much for watching our big tour here on Watches and Wonders 2026. I say goodbye with Marina and with Roger. We all say thank you very much.
Looking forward to seeing you in 2027.
We have seen a lot here. We just wanted to show you the best of the best and enjoy.
You hear it, that's the final word, nothing more to say. Join us on our website. Roger is doing the website. Join our social media channels. And of course, come back as often as you can on WatchAdvisor. Why? Because hashtag we're the watchers are the stars. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.